Strange days are here again. Now I'm dancing with my imaginary friends. In my head, they say what I need to hear, whispering lies that make my problems disappear. Then I get paranoid. Oh no, I let them in again. Should I play along? Why yes, let's play a game of pretend. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Time to let my crazy show. They feed on fears, they twist my thoughts. Act like kings, but they're just bots. Truth is, they just fucking bore me. Now it's my turn, I'll flip the game. Step inside, let's play insane. Let's get this psycho circus started. You're at my party, dearly departed. I can make this fun, do you wanna run? I'm pulling out the big one, just for fun. Pop the champagne and run, bitch, run! Strange days are back again. Still dancing with my imaginary friends. In my head they say what I need to hear, on repeat till the silence disappears. 1, 2, 3, now you know. This is how I let my crazy show. They prey on doubt, my insecurities. Play pretend like they've got authority. But truth is, they just fucking bore me.
Let's see, on our last stream, we left off discussing day 1, so the day that Summer Wells actually vanished. And Fred, you told us a lot of jaw-dropping information. It was very, very interesting. And I know that the audience was very interested in it also. Donna, weren't you shocked by a lot of it?
Yeah, I was especially shocked. There was a lot of new things that I didn't know. I knew that there was rumors of Andy Bernard being up and down that road at the time Summer went missing. But what I didn't know, and what Fred told us, was that Andy Bernard only admitted he was on that road when the police showed him surveillance camera footage from other neighbors. So in other words, he lied to the police about his whereabouts and to the general public, according to Fred. And so that puts him there. And Fred said when he was coming back out of the hollow, he seemed to be coming out in conjunction, I think he said, with a blue pickup truck, so that there was another person as well as him tailing him on the way. I think that's what Fred said. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And then the other thing that was big for me was that George Bernard, who is Andy's father, was standing at the end of the road trying to figure out what people got information. And then that is weird in itself. And then Don Wells, when he went to Fred Hill's house that night, he didn't ask to look around, because if my daughter was missing, I'd be like, can I look in your garage? Can I look around your house? Can I look in your closets? Totally. In fact, I would probably be kicking in doors. Instead, Fred says that Don Wells went there and didn't even ask to look for Summer. He was just talking about, oh, well, I'll see her again in the rapture, which is, if you don't know, when the Christians believe that dead people suddenly raise from the dead. Newsflash, they never die to begin with. But so that's how Don Wells was talking. Another thing was that I had told Fred that I saw a hunchback guy around the barn where I saw a trade-off happen with Summer, where Summer was delivered to some other people. And Fred identified the barns up there in the hollow as being apart across the road from Andy Bernard's uncle, John Smith, now deceased, one of the 20 or so people now deceased around the bottom of this crime. Or Doug Gott, who also was staying next door to John Smith, he's now dead as well. And he also frequented that area and the area on Stardust where there's a barn. So we've pretty much identified the two likely trade-off places for Summer Wells. And then, so then Fred took us through the first day, what he experienced the first day. And that's what that 2-hour live stream is about. It's really interesting. And I am glad to be able to give Fred a platform. I am sick and tired of these freaking Bernards. I am sick. I'm so tired of them. It's time to call it out. That's how I feel. And that's why I'm here. So welcome, Fred. You're among good company on this one. I'm over the Bernards.
Well, what I'm over is the whole infighting stuff. We are all here because we're interested in justice for Summer Wells. Whatever it is that happened to her, we want to make sure that the people who perpetrated this violence are held accountable. So why are we not uniting, coming together and actually making change in a positive direction? Instead, it's like creator versus creator, and then Donna gets attacked, I get attacked, Ziggy and Fred get attacked. For what? What do you think you're doing to make a positive difference in the case at all if you're fighting? We want to see that the people who did this come to justice. Like, that should be number one mission. Nothing else, no infighting, no gossiping. Just get with the program, people. Donna is a great resource. Fred is a great resource. The hope was bringing the two together, that maybe Fred Hill could make sense of what Donna had seen when she channeled this, August of 2021. This information is not new. I mean, she saw this a long time ago. It's that she's now connecting to things she saw, and Fred is finding meaning, or let's say assigning value to what she saw.
Yeah. When I described about Candace turning a person turning a different way than you'd expect off Ben Hill Road, and he knew right away. He said, "Oh, that meant she went up into the hollow." And then I told him about the guy with the hunchback, and it was pretty easy from there to identify the two barns that are associated with that guy, who's now dead. So it really doesn't matter if we talk about him. He's one of, like I said, probably about 20 people that are now dead.
I've never seen anything like this, guys. Have you? In any case that we followed, so many dead people associated.
No, but it makes me wonder, am I just like is there really an influx of people passing away, or am I just like paying attention to it? You know, it really does seem abnormal. Like, it seems like many.
It does. It's so bizarre to me. Yeah.
Well, one thing all these people have in common is that they may have seen something. You know, like, I have no doubt in my mind if Fred went back there, he'd be found dead too. No doubt.
Oh, I know. I think it's so great that he's not there any longer. Safer for him. Okay.
So on that first live stream, we went through day one, and it surprised even me. The information that came out surprised even me, and I'm not surprised very easily.
Right.
So then we were going to start with day two. Like, when you wake up the next day, what happens, Fred?
Pretty much just the law enforcement, they're up and on all day and stuff. I mean, I was trying to think what happened first that morning. They came and asked some questions and stuff, and that we went and I showed them some different locations. I rode around with them most of that day.
Oh, so you rode around with law enforcement?
Yes, there's 4 of them I rode around with that day, and we went to certain places that, like when you go out Ben Hill and turn left, the first driveway on the right, there's some wells and stuff that I was pointing out to them and stuff, and showing them where they were just asking if any well, if I could show them where wells and stuff was, where I was raised up there all my life, pretty much knew where everything was, or septics, any kind of buildings that's kind of tucked away that they didn't know about and stuff. So we mostly was on Simpson Loop, which is straight across from the shed at the bottom, if people don't know. And I was showing them places on that road and stuff, joining Beach Creek, that a lot of wells, septic systems, houses, that there's one house in particular that we went to check, because it's been known for people to hide out from the law and stuff on that actually had power on it, but it appeared that nobody lived there. It's all growed up, trees all around it, everything.
Yeah, they just kicked that one right in, didn't they?
Yeah, when we walked up to it, they just kicked the door in and went straight in on it because they suspected somebody in there.
What kind of vehicle were you guys riding around in? Was it a marked vehicle?
No, it was a maroon Dodge truck, 4-door.
Okay.
Were you privy to any of their conversation, like about what they thought? Because clearly they suspected Don Wells being involved in this disappearance from the very beginning. And so I'm wondering, what kind of things did you overhear them talking about?
I mean, at first they was talking about they suspected him owing a drug debt and stuff. That's what they wanted me to record on and try to hit on Don, was about who he owed and stuff like that, and try to talk to him about no matter how much money and stuff he owed, that we could get her back and stuff if Lonely knew where to go about getting her and all that.
That's what they were telling you to say, is to say we could get him up with the money.
Yeah, no matter how much money, whatever. I mean, that can be handled as long as we know where to take the money and stuff too.
Wow, Fred. Why do I say wow? I say wow because August 2021, Donna, people want me to introduce or give a little more background info. Let me tell you real quick. Donna, I found Donna in 2020 after I literally, with my own eyes and ears, witnessed her solve an entire case, like 4.5 months before these missing kids were found in their stepdad's backyard. So when they were found, I reflected back that I felt like I'd heard that information before, right? It was egregious. They had very egregious murders. And so I went back to Donna's, I picked to her video, her actual video. It picked up where it left off. And my mind was blown because I was hearing these details that only a couple months later started to kind of trickle out when Chad Daybell had his preliminary hearing. So the long and short of it is Donna has, over the years, taken on many cases that we followed and always gotten to the nitty-gritty details before we ever heard about it from mainstream media or law enforcement. And in the case of Summer Wells, what's really blown my mind right now is in August of 2021, Donna stated that she felt that Summer's disappearance was basically due to a drug debt that the parents had incurred, namely Dawn, right? But it was really Candace who wanted to get rid of her. And so hearing you say that, Fred, blows my mind because that's what Donna said. That was part of it.
And part of it was jealousy on the part of Candace, and this things that they were doing, trading their daughter for around the neighborhood. I mean, you're going to have to read behind the lines a little bit here. They were doing things that they could have went to prison for and would lose their other kids. So they wanted her gone. And there was also dynamics within the house where power dynamics where Summer's realizing she does have a little play against her mother. These kind of things where Candace wasn't not a suitable person to be a mother at all.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like that's come out a lot over the years, especially when she lost the other kids, when Child Services took them about a month or two into this.
Yeah, so she smashed her 2-year-old son's head to the point where she cracked his skull, and he had to live for decades or many years in a group home because of severe brain damage. And then on Don Wells' part, he did sell, according to his ex-wife, he did sell one of his kids to drug dealers already. Kids he had 20 years prior, and that ex-wife went and had to retrieve the little boy that Don Wells already sold. So this would not be his first time.
Right. And to clarify, Candace, the son that she hurt, battered, we'll say, that was in her first set of kids. So she basically had 2 sets of kids. She had her daughter and son years ago, and then she had these 4 kids, in the last 15, 17 years, whatever.
By the way, they knew, law enforcement had mentioned the day of that Summer's disappearance in front of Fred, they had mentioned about the other child, Dawn trying to sell the other child. So they knew about that incident.
Okay.
The day Summer went missing.
So it has to be in a database or something somewhere for them to know that right off.
Okay.
Most likely.
So interesting.
And probably they received phone calls, because could you imagine if it goes public that your ex-husband's kid just disappeared when he already sold your kid? You know?
And I remember Mary, Dawn's sister, she was like screaming from the rooftops, check him out. Like she was very concerned. Yeah.
Exactly. And but it's just so weird. I bring it up because it's so weird. We didn't know that law enforcement knew the day of, because we figured they found out about it when Mary told them, Mary and the other sister told them about it. But I guess they had to have known on the day of.
That is so interesting. Wow.
There's something else too about we were talking a little bit before about the day after Summer's disappearance, and he was trying to remember exactly what was on the 17th. And you think that dream story, right? You heard about that on the 17th?
No, that was on the 16th. That was on
I'm sorry, 16th. Yeah, we're on the 16th. I keep
16th. Yep.
16th.
Okay, yeah, let's go back to the 16th then, Fred, and tell us everything about driving around with these cops and what they were talking about, even amongst each other and stuff like that.
Well, they just at that point, they were just trying to figure out locations and stuff and search every location that was off of Ben Hill, while the other main searchers, like the fire department, rescue squad, all that was actually searching mainly Ben Hill. They was wanting to hurry and expand outward and trying to find abandoned houses, stuff like that, and wells, septics, anything that she could have been put or anything at that point.
And you witnessed even earlier something I had never heard before. You would witness them while you were in the car with them, the searchers would contact them and be like, "Oh, we're finding drugs in this house or that house." And
they was getting the
searchers.
They was getting annoyed with that, because when I was with them trying to take them to different locations and stuff. Where the one I was working with is head drug task force, and he's with the special tactics unit too. Anyway, they was contacting him just every little bit. Every house that they was going in seemed like wanting to take and have them charged or whatever from what they was seeing in the houses and stuff, the paraphernalia and all that. It seemed like every house they went in seemed like.
So real.
And they're like, we're not here for that right now. We're here trying to find Summer, and that's all.
Yeah.
They were getting annoyed with all of the other stuff that they was trying to do, and when they were just there trying to
all the police trying to press charges for drugs found and stuff in people's houses that they were searching and for paraphernalia. And they were actually, saying, no, actually, we're not going to be doing that. We're focusing on Summer. So that was a new one I heard. And also, the dream story too. Oh, sorry, keep going.
I mean, we went and searched a lot of Simpson Loop that day. From when you turn out Ben Hill and you turn left, the first driveway on the right, I showed them where a couple wells was on that property. And then we went on around Simpson Loop, and I showed them where a couple houses was that appeared nobody lived in, but I didn't already knew that people had been hiding out from law enforcement and all that around in some of them houses and stuff, because the power and stuff was still on them houses, but nobody actually had resident there. I mean, actual living there. It was just people that was running from law and stuff like that, hiding out. So we went around through there, and they kicked a couple doors in and went in and searched a couple places and searched the well, or looked at the wells and stuff on the same pieces of property and stuff. And then I was trying to think if that was the day I was trying to think if I showed them the Field Road property on the first day or second day. Seemed like
you showed them what property?
You showed them what property?
Fields Road property of Andy Parents.
Okay, like Andy's parents.
one of their properties on Fields Road. They have a property on Fields Road,
which is straight across from the command center where they set the command center up.
Nobody's living there now, but it was a property, right? There's nobody was living there at the time,
Yeah,
really.
because I mean, it kind of come up when Andy was talking about on the first day he was recording. He said something about they went to the Fields Road property and stuff that day on 15th.
Oh, Andy claimed that he had went on the Fields Road property on the 15th?
Yes.
And was that after he got caught lying to the police that he was even there at all?
He allowed that he went down there after he had got home and stuff, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But that was weird to you because.
But that's why they like, well, where's this property at? He's supposed to own, because we didn't know nothing about it until then. It seemed like he was talking about on the second day too about Andy and them refusing the search of the 125 property at that time.
That's so weird.
The day before. Seemed like he was mentioning it that day.
Oh, so Andy Bernard not only lied to the police and got caught about being present at the time Summer Wells disappeared, but he also refused to let the police search his property, even though all these other neighbors with massive drugs, they were letting the police come search. But Andy Bernard would not let the police search his property.
Well, I think it was Jody that refused the search of it, because she stated when I was recording on that day, she said tried to say that she didn't want him to go in the house and stuff because he had guns and stuff in there, and he was a felon, and she was trying to keep him from getting in trouble. So I don't know. That's just what she had told on the recording. As reason she denied the search, supposedly.
But she'll come on here and say she didn't deny the search, you know?
Yeah,
so,
but the police were letting people know they weren't there for drugs and other things. They weren't looking in drawers. They were looking for a child. Yeah. And these people, Andy Bernard lied to police until it was proven on video that he really was there at the time Summer disappeared. This is the bottom line here. And then him and his bitch, his fat bitch, who sits there for 2 years straight, like a dumb, drug-addicted, alcoholic, chain-smoking whore, sits there for 2 straight years as controlled opposition, whining and claiming that her husband is guilty of drugging the children that are being raped at Ben Hill Road. And what? Oh my God. Excuse me, but that's what's up.
They were searching the places and stuff. I mean, they was opening drawers. They was opening every little compartment that they seen.
Oh, okay. Did you follow them in there in some of the houses? You followed them in?
Yep.
And they were opening drawers. They were looking for any kind of
they looked for any trace of anything they could find.
Oh, okay.
But they weren't charging anybody with anything. I mean,
they were still looking in every little thing.
Yeah.
Anything they thought that she could fit in.
Oh, well.
And they said anything size of a laptop computer.
Oh, okay. Anything as big as a laptop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Jody could have just stuck the guns somewhere under or something and said they were hers or whatever. I mean, a child is missing. An actual child is missing.
When they come to my house.
So there's the second thing leading to potential red flags related to Andy Bernard, who's being completely platformed by Ryan's Finds Nothing. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. This is about a little child missing. A little child.
I mean,
and who is this Jody Sue who sits there for 2 years like a drunken hootenanny, chain smoking while she's talking crap, accusing her. On one night, she'll accuse her ex-husband of being involved. Another night, she's attacking anyone who talks about him.
It's so bizarre. I know.
That's infuriating. Sorry.
She's come after you too, Donna. She's come after me. She's definitely come after Ziggy and Fred.
Mm-hmm. When she came after me is the only time I've ever even actually watched her. Other than like 30 seconds. Oh, there's that drunk again. The only time she ever talked about me, I literally said a prayer for her that she would not overdose on those narcotic pills she was clearly on, popping. Well,
Jody is not on narcotic pills. She's hearing shit. Oops, there goes the drum again. Her freak out is coming. It's as far as I got. Jody comes into the chat. She's freaking out. Dude. I'm not even paying attention to detail. We're going to have to go over this again. This is going to be a short live. But watch these people freak out. Her and Sweetie Pie Low are all on piano like jumping around like crackheads. I don't know what the fuck they're doing in this, but they attacked Jody to no end. I ain't never seen these two witches so mean in my life. Y'all, just look at it without the details for a minute. I'm going to ask you all to laugh this morning. Donna Seraphina's hair is flying everywhere. Sweetie Pie's jumping all over in her seat talking shit like they're... What in the motherfuck is going on these YouTube streets? I missed a lot yesterday. I had to catch up. I caught up on Andrew's shit. Posted a video about that. It's a step up for Ziggy to have an excuse to kick Fred out, in my opinion. I didn't even see all of this. I didn't see all of it. I'm going to watch it with you and we're going to get into the details. Because we're going to go right into Donna Seraphina's details. Benny's over there reporting that she got some sort of criminal record. I found that she has a daughter that's deceased. And she does have a lot of problems and has had a lot of problems and is licensed for different things in different states. So we're quickly going to go through that. But I have some serious concerns after watching this live. But I'm sorry, I'm the kind that will laugh hysterically at something that looks completely asinine. Y'all laugh at me enough, and I'm fine with that. When I look asinine, I look asinine. This is two motherfucking psychics on a panel ready to rumble. I don't know what the fuck I'm seeing. How are you even credible acting like that? Who would want to hire you after this?
While she's talking about me, she's like, you know,
I think,
Jody Sue, you're controlled opposition.
I think she's in the chat. Hang on, let's see what she say. Jody's.
Let me go back and put that on real time, because even on real time, that was funny fast. Let's put it on normal. Watch this lady. Watch her face. Oh my God. What are you? 12?
Finds nothing. I'm tired of it. I'm tired.
Yeah.
This is about a little child missing. A little child.
I mean,
And who is this Jody Sue who sits there for 2 years like a drunken hootenanny, chain smoking while she's talking crap, accusing her. On one night, she'll accuse her ex-husband of being involved. Another night, she's attacking anyone who talks about him.
It's so bizarre. I know.
Yeah, it's infuriating. Sorry.
She's come after you too, Donna. She's come after me. She's definitely come after Ziggy and Fred.
Mm-hmm. When she came after me is the only time I've ever even actually watched her.
Yeah.
Other than like 30 seconds. Oh, there's that drunk again. The only time she ever talked about me, I literally said a prayer for her that she would not overdose on those narcotic pills she was clearly on, popping. While she's talking about me, she's like, you know, I think Jody Sue, you're controlled opposition.
I think she's in the chat. Hang on, let's see what she say. Jody Sue, but wait, Fred said he seen guns carried elsewhere on the 14th.
What?
And how does that absolve you, Jody? How does that absolve you? Do you want to pull her on here? How does that absolve you,
Judy?
When across the road, a 5-year-old child's missing and you won't let the cops walk around your property even?
Jody,
that what you
said something
super sticker. It's very appreciated.
So he was about to say something about when they came to my house and searched. You were about to say something about
when they came.
Donna. Sweetie bitch low. Listen carefully. Jody Sue's daughter told the story on Pennies. I just shared it the other day. You're out here trying to save one baby, but are you saying another baby was lying? They're children. The story's real. Didn't Jody Sue stop Equisearch? Andy was throwing a motherfucking fit about Equisearch. Fred's gonna change his story now and say, oh, really, it was Jody. Fred, listen to me, you hick-ass motherfucker. It's time for you to come clean. Let's talk about your sister in AmeriCorps where Layla was last seen, where your sister worked. I'm gonna bet she was working that day. Y'all are sick. Extremely, completely sick.
Came to my house and searched. I didn't worry about the paraphernalia laying out and stuff. I mean, I let them straight in and they went through my place,
Yeah.
and seen everything I had.
And that's how it is in California too. It's like, if there's a bigger deal going on, the cops will come. They don't care about anything.
Yeah.
No,
we're not here about drugs. We're not here about this. We're not here about that. And who would not let them come in except for someone right across the road who was complicit? Okay, go ahead, Fred. Sorry.
Hold on. Before he says anything else, can we also say that after Summer's vanishing or disappearance, everything dissolved. The whole family split. Jody,
Uh-huh.
Andy,
Oh, yeah.
it all broke.
Yeah.
Why?
And in my criminal justice,
Well, Sweetie Pie Love, because for months leading up to Summer's disappearance, Andy got different. He was sitting on Jody Sue and beating her and acting like he was on some stimulants or something. He was completely abusive, obliterated. I can't say the fucking word, forgive me. Make fun of me. He was threatening his daughter, teasing her about food, not coming home, running off with a skank. But there's lots of reasons why Jody could have left. Could Summer have heightened it because Andy's hiding a secret or was involved in something? Absolutely. All lanes count. However, the way you're attacking Jody Sue, this is not very professional, is it? Jesus. Mary and Joseph. Jesus, take the wheel.
studies with my criminal justice bachelor's degree, guess what murderers do quite frequently? They freak out and they change their whole schedule. That's one of the ways police are on to them. But what happened here? Andy moved. 2 or 3 days later, he quits his job. He leaves Jody Sue. He goes off to work for a carnival, for a train.
Yeah.
And see, they didn't contain their dogs or nothing either up at 125. They was letting them get into it with the search dogs and all kinds of stuff.
What? Are you serious?
Oh, and Jody Sue, since you're here, can you tell us the exact name of the place where your ex-husband Voldemort
Supposedly had went on the 15th.
what do you mean it's Andy had supposedly went there on the 15th? Could you explain
where
that?
he had stated on recording that he had been there, had went down there on the 15th while I was recording and stuff. Said he had went to the Fields Road property and he was surprised that the gate and stuff was up and didn't have no entrance into it and all that.
Okay. Jody admits on many videos early in the days, and I was going to show that at first glance listening to this. However, I don't have it pulled out. Jody did state on the 15th they went up to the property to look for Summer or do something up there. However, when you add Andy's dad into the factor, being there after not being there for 20 years, did his dad send Andy and Jody up there to play cleanup crew? I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. I'm not sitting here trying to stick up for Jody completely, but I think this was completely ridiculous, what they did on here. I do think that Jody's innocent. I do think Jody is a witness, and I do think Jody knows more. I think not everything is for YouTube. But what these people did yesterday, so unfucking professional. I can't believe what I'm watching. And hi, everybody coming in. Beverly, Moonshine, Little Dev, Flies on the Cool Slaw. I didn't say hi to nobody. Who knows? Chango, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're well. Well. We got that Pittsburgh lingo up there. Paulette. This is amazing to me.
Hey, can I play this real quick?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Girls over there to be sedated and to be touched
Hold on, let's.
at 1:10. Y'all go over there and ask why exactly it is he's selling drugs to the children at 1:10.
There it is.
That's Jody Sue.
That's
Just
Jody
for
Sue.
people who don't know, the lady who was just on here being obnoxious and trying to not answer questions, that's her. He gets drunk.
Essentially causing little girls over there to be sedated and to be touched with the shit he was selling over there. Go ask.
She gets drunk. She does drugs. She does all this crazy shit. Let me go to Donna Seraphina here. Donna Seraphina Jones, psychic, Reverend Donna Seraphina, mother psychic medium, spiritualist, Reverend, author of Afterlife Exploration and Communication. I can't get into that. She's on here. Hold on. Just hold the phone here. Because I found some interesting shit. I think we're going to come back live later after I've slept. Look, Private Investigators Association of Idaho. So she labels herself as a private investigator as of June 27th, 2025. Here's a rule. Donna Seraphina Jones. That's her, because that's her profile picture. But does anybody else think she looks like Stacey Slay? Remember the Stacey Slay picture that came out? Huh. That's kind of fucking odd. The one in the car? Hang on. I'm trying to find this shit I found the other day. Update. Woman found dead in Lake Ellsworth motel pool. The death of Nicole Lambert Cruz, 26, is under investigation. This is Donna's daughter. A woman was found dead in a swimming pool on Thanksgiving. Nicole Lambert Cruz, 26, was found dead in the lodge's pool yesterday, according to her mother, Donna Lambert, which is Donna's real name. The woman was living with her grandfather, Murietta, when she went missing November 19th, Lambert said. She left for a walk and never came back, Lambert said. A travel and associate who would not give her name said she cannot discuss the matter and referred Patch to police. At press time, Riverside County Sheriff's Department could only confirm that the woman was found dead in a pool and the cause of death is unknown pending an autopsy and toxicology report. The call to police came in yesterday at 11:55 a.m. Travel Inn is located at 31610 Auto Center Drive. The Lambert family was in the media spotlight prior to Thanksgiving. Donna Lambert's elderly father, Don, who Nicole lived with, had been a fixture to Marietta City Hall, where he regularly advocated on behalf of medical marijuana patients. In 2009 for the marijuana possession in San Diego County. Her case garnered significant media attention. She was accused of providing cannabis to an undercover police detective who posed as a medical marijuana patient. The sting was part of a larger investigation dubbed Operation Green RX, led by San Diego District Attorney Bonnie Dumanis. So Donna Seraphina was busted for her case garnered significant media attention. She was accused of providing cannabis to an undercover police detective who posed as a medical marijuana patient. Donna was selling illegal substances for her father. Yes. And we're supposed to believe a damn thing she says. This is too far. This is too far in the YouTube community, Donna. Especially for someone selling illegal prescriptions. Don't you think so? For daddy. Charged. What happened to your daughter? I think we should probably question that now, and I might be going a little too harsh here, but prescription drugs for daddy?
Okay, can you play that one more time? Just
Yeah,
one more time?
please.
Okay.
At 1:10.
It's playing. Hold on. She
No problem.
pauses.
While he was potentially causing little girls over there to be sedated and to be touched with the shit he was selling over there. Go
No.
ask.
Rewind it to the part before that where she said this part.
Well, that's good.
This is crazy.
Y'all go over there and ask why exactly it is he was selling drugs to the children at 1:10.
Donna, we can ask exactly why it is you was selling pills for your father in California. Just saying. Psychic.
Mhm.
Okay, and let's give some context. Ziggy, from what I remember, that was shortly after Andy started his career on YouTube, and he was chiming in and telling his side of the story, and she was getting pissed because she would hear about him being live. Am I remembering that correctly, Ziggy?
Well, here it says, okay, this was in August of 2022 over on let's see, Truth, Lies, and Alibis. I'll send it to you. But it says in the comments or underneath the video, it says I know this video is old, but wanted to just get it public opinion about the alleged allegations. So it was even older than that at that time, because August 2022 is when this channel posted it, and it's saying in the description that it's old. So she was saying this super early on. She absolutely said that. I don't know why she's going to come on here and say she
I don't
didn't.
either. It's so weird.
No, anytime I've even clicked on her for a minute, she's rambling about that exact thing.
Yeah. I don't understand why she's saying her. That's what blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how can it blow your mind? She's an alcoholic and a drug addict. And
You know what kills me is Donna's a ripoff artist. How many of these creators came out here supporting her, paying for her class? She has a psychic class where all these creators started, like Ziggy, Ryan. How many others? Lips, maybe? Possibility? Scott? Fuck you come from, Seraphina? Mars?
and she's had no, I don't think, did the Bernard send her to school, or did they just let their son rape her? Because that's rape when you're 12.
I could have sworn
and your
that she said
boyfriend's
that
22 or whatever, however old, much older he was. That's called statutory rape, and it's against the law.
She didn't blame Andy. She blamed the parents, Donna. And you're re-offending somebody who was a victim. Dumb fuck.
The law. So they send Jody Sue to school while they were doing that? I mean, this family, they all should be in prison, in my opinion.
Yeah, she even said that they abused her and all this, and now all of a sudden she says maybe it wasn't her father that sold. I mean, she said he wasn't.
That's about her father.
I mean, yeah, her father was in prison for rape, but it wasn't. I don't know the age of the person, and he died in there, or I believe he died recently.
Oh yeah, we don't need to conflate her jabbering. Okay, so so let's go back to day 2.
It was a woman in her 20s or 30s, Ziggy. She lived in Kingsport. It happened in Kingsport. Maybe you should do some homework before you come out here and blab your fucking mouth. I've always found this grotesque when people talk about Jody's father. Maybe not really that they talked about him, but the way they talk about him. Because what if Jody was a victim to him in that kind of way? She accuses him of being her first abuser. What if Summer's being abused in the same way right now? Summer's only a few years younger than Jody was at the time. Donna. Jody lived with her father when she was that age. How does this help Summer or any other victim at that age while you're sitting here literally bashing somebody who possibly was a victim at that age in this manner with so much unprofessionalism?
Too.
Guys, real quick, I have to go off camera for a second and plug in for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to be off camera, but I'm listening and I'm here. Okay.
Okay. So you went over to the Fields Road thing, the Fields Road property owned by the Bernards with the police on day 2, Fred?
Yes.
And what'd they do there?
They didn't enter the property at that point. They went back later on after they dropped me off to take and enter the property. I don't know.
Did they have to get a warrant?
I don't think so on it.
They just had to get permission or something like that?
Oh, they just entered it, I reckon.
Fred, why are you the only one the police are asking to take anywhere? Why are you the only one? Why isn't Donna questioning why you were given lie detector tests? Why you were set up to go to prison for being a meth seller? Why isn't Donna questioning them things? I think she needs to, because you're not exactly not a suspect. Why isn't Donna bringing that up?
Like a lot of the other places.
Yeah, most places they didn't have warrants or nothing when they went in. I don't know.
They just went in.
Other than just that Jody saying that she didn't want them in the house and stuff, refused to search of the house that day. It's the only person I know of around there that refused to search.
So the only one that refusing to cooperate is the wife of the one who lied to the police about being there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'd be right there good information for a criminal trial.
Because at first I figured that may have been why George Bernard was at Ben Hill. Maybe they had to get him to get permission from him because she denied permission. That was my thought at first about George. Maybe
they could have done that over the phone.
Yeah.
They didn't need him to be there. And when you went up and saw George Bernard, was he questioning you to see what you saw?
George Bernard, was he questioning you to see what you saw?
No, because I just come back from Kingsport and pulled up on Ben Hill Road when he come and talked to me. He just said a few words to me.
And Andy Bernard, it was Andy Bernard's father standing at the entrance to Ben Hill Road?
Yes, he didn't question me about nothing. He just come up and said that he thought he was my child at first that had went missing.
Interesting.
And I hadn't seen him there in like over 20 years probably. Well, since
he probably just wanted to see your reaction to if you would say anything.
No, he probably just showed up because he's crooked as fuck if he ain't been there 20 years. And I covered this the other day. However, and I agree with some things you say, Donna, but this attack that you do is extremely too far, and it changes everybody's mind about you. People's minds about you. It's gross.
That's a long.
Because when I pulled up the Ben Hill Road, I was having to sit out on Ben Hill. I mean, out on the Beach Creek Road, and had to wait on to open up the road so I could pull onto it.
Yeah. So then on a third day, on the 17th, is that when you went and recorded the wells for the second time?
Well, I recorded Jody and Andy and Dawn some on the 15th, and then the 16th, Jody and Andy and their daughter.
Oh, what about the dream thing?
And see, that's when the daughter brought up to Jody on the 16th was he took and asked Jody. She come down the hill and walked up to Jody, and she said that Andy had told her about seeing Summer's dead body.
I remember this.
And this was on your recording?
On the 17th.
But it's on the,
not the 17th, but the 16th.
Okay, so on the 16th, you recorded Jody Sue saying that Andy claimed he had seen Summer's dead body?
Well, the daughter took and walked down there and told Jody that Andy told her that he had seen Summer's dead body. And then that's when, because Andy wasn't standing there at the second, he was over across the road on the other side where the trash can and their car was parked. from where we was standing at where I was recording. And she had hollered over there, and Tony come over and she said, "When did you see Summer's dead body?" And he said, "Oh, that was just a effing dream that I had." That's when he told her that.
So you were standing out there.
Then
Go ahead.
Jody asked him, he said, "Well, when did you see Summer last," or something like that? And he's like, "Well, I seen her on the 14th night when I was over there, but I didn't see her when I was over there on the earlier on the 15th.
Andy
she
claimed
said
he
it like
didn't
it
see her
was
on the
there.
15th.
Okay, and you know what, guys? I'm thinking of something as you're saying this. Remember the interview with Chris McDonough? He interviews Hunter. Hunter says that he saw Candace's phone on the day of the 15th, and it said something like, so the sender was from Andy. He remembers the name being Andy. And the message said something like, "It's done." Do you guys remember this?
Yep.
Okay, there's another kind of.
You remember that, Fred?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah.
A lot of circumstantial evidence.
It's very interesting, no doubt.
So all these different pieces
And he
too,
referred
all
to
these different pieces of
the
information
drug
coming
dealer
from different people.
as well.
So Fred, if I can understand you correctly, you're saying you were recording them and you were standing next to Jody and Don Wells, and Jody's daughter came up and said, "Dad said he saw Summer Wells' dead body."
Well, Don wasn't there when I was recording that time.
Okay, who was there? Were you just standing there with Jody
It
Sue?
was just Jody and her daughter standing there, and Andy standing there when I was recording in. But Andy had stepped away when the daughter come down the hill and walked up to Jody and was telling her that.
So Jody's daughter came up the day of or the day after?
The day after Summer went missing.
The day after Summer went missing, Fred was recording Jody Sue, the henchwoman who just came on here. Fred was recording Jody Sue, and Jody Sue's daughter came walking up and said, "Dad said he saw Summer Wells' dead body." So now we have Jody Sue claiming Andy had something to do with it. Jody Sue's daughter brings him in. It just goes on and on.
Hunter says Andy's name about the text. It's done, like Lauren just mentioned, and
Hunter says that, and the police caught Andy in a lie. Okay.
yeah, he tried to act like he couldn't remember what he was driving that day, and also if he was even on that road. It was crazy.
Yeah.
A day later, he couldn't remember what he was driving
Well,
for the
same
police
day,
until they
same
showed him a
day.
video of himself up in the hollow,
same day,
an unknown
same
vehicle.
Yeah,
Okay.
they was laughing
Okay,
about
Ryan,
that.
you just keep promoting that guy as the arbiter of truth. You just
That
keep
is
it up, or maybe he'll give you some money or something.
Wow.
Well, see, she's worried because of somebody else. I believe it's probably her son that Andy dragged in somehow. And that's just my opinion. I don't know that for a fact, but that would give her extra reasoning to want to protect, keep the truth from coming out.
To divert people's attention, just keep going on YouTube and stirring stuff up, Jody, and diverting people's attention. You're a waste of space and a waste of air, a
I don't
waste of time.
understand. Yeah, I don't understand. So many people involved in this case are suddenly on YouTube. It's actually involved there in the setting of the whole thing, and they are talking all the time on YouTube. That's nuts to me. Feels like they haven't been investigated.
Hey Jody, why did your son take a protective order out on Andy a month after Summer went missing? I want to know that. The son took out a protective order on Andy Bernard, on his own dad, like a month or two after Summer went missing.
You could probably pull up that file and get a copy and see why. But hey, I have a question, Fred. Okay, so after Jody Sue's daughter comes over to you guys and says the dad's Andy Bernard, the dad, is claiming that he saw Summer Wells' dead body, what happens then? How does Jody react to that?
Well, she just asked him. She kind of looked at him, hollered at Andy, and asked him to come over. And when he come over, she asked him about what the daughter said, about him seeing Summer's dead body, and he's like, "Oh, that was just a effing dream I had," And then she's like, "Well, when did you see her last?" And he's like, "Well, I seen her last on the 14th when I was over there, 14th night when I was over there." They said I didn't see her earlier today when I was over there on the 15th.
Wow.
Or earlier on the 15th when I was over there.
Yeah.
That's what he tried to say, but he tried to play it off to her like it was a dream, But
yeah, and then he went in and started packing so he could flee, right?
Yeah. But Jody did act surprised, when her daughter said that to her. Like, then I was watching somebody last night of Andy stating that, it had to be his daughter had to hear him and Jody talking about something or arguing because he hadn't said nothing to her first, but it wasn't like that by the recording and stuff. I mean,
You were there when
I was there when she first said something to Jody about Andy supposedly saying that he had seen Summer's dead body.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can remember who was that chick on YouTube that used to make the videos about Jody Sue? And there was one particular clip I remember hearing, can't remember this girl's name now, but it was Jody Sue telling that story that Andy had said he had seen Summer's dead body.
Was it Squall?
I don't remember. He became close with John. Remember that John guy? I think they became a duo.
John Q and Q Carlock.
It wasn't Q Carlock. It was this other.
Oh,
I just can't remember her name.
Oh, well.
But yeah, she had showed in her video that clip of Jody Sue actually talking about Andy's quote dream that he had, that he'd seen Summer's dead body. And she even had her daughter tell the story, if I'm remembering correctly. Somebody get me that clip if you know where it is and put it in the chat. If anybody knows where that clip is, because it's out there. It's in circulation, guys. This is an
and if anybody else has saved a montage of clips where Jody blames Andy for all this, go ahead and send them. And if you know if she's ever mentioned exactly where Andy went to work as a train conductor at like some little carnival type thing, let us know.
Crazy. That is crazy to me.
Because we'd like to look in all the ravines around there. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a
for the
weird
record, I think that any of these people deserve the death penalty. All of them. Anyone involved in this, I believe, deserves the death penalty.
It was Penny. Guys, it was Penny. I'm remembering that.
Oh, yeah, Penny.
I don't remember her whole name on YouTube, but yes, it was Penny. And I
She
remember
was still by Penny, but she changed to Fizzle. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Yes. And Benny became close to her for a period.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I remember. Yes, it was Jody's daughter who told the story. And Jody had her daughter tell the story on YouTube. So there were a number of us that heard it. So Fred is telling the truth, if anybody's doubting.
Oh, Fred is absolutely telling the truth. And he was working with the police and helping record these people who wouldn't let their property be searched, who fled 2 days later. And
This is never the story Jody told. They are turning it. Yes, Andy said it was a dream. Is it? I don't know. However, this is not the story that they told, and the story keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. Every year, Fred comes out with more about this story. He's also Ziggy keeps passing along the story of Playboy, who was dead, mind you.
And who lied about being there at the exact time when Summer disappeared.
You've just seen the messages, like the little messages, innuendos that, like when Jody Sue found out that she was recorded by Fred, because they didn't find out until, it got on YouTube, like, I don't know, they didn't find out until a couple years after. And she was sending little messages to Andy she's like, do you remember what we were, like, she was like freaking out when, I wish we need to find that video too. When she was kind of trying to send him little messages.
Like Jody Sue?
What was that?
Ziggy, so you're saying Jody Sue was commiserating with Fred about something?
No, she would go live and send Andy, like, like when she cryptic messages and whatever. And when she had found out, right after she had found out about Fred recording for the police and stuff, she went live and she was like talking to Andy, but live, basically. Like, yeah.
What the hell do you think of this, Jody? I think we're just getting to the part where you come in. That's where I ended it. I didn't listen to nothing more after that. But what the flying fuck is Donna Seraphina doing right now?
Oh no. Same thing. Always. She's been doing since the beginning. But yes, definitely playing scripted, contrived. It was meant to do, whatever. Anyway, yeah, I just want to clarify because you're giving credence to it too, though you know better. I was not.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Before you go on, let me say one thing just by that first sentence. I'm not giving credence to nothing. I don't know your real story. You never told me your real story. I can only go by assumptions. But if you are a victim of what I'm saying is if you
know better, you know better. So even in opening it up to say that I am or I'm this or that or whatever is bullshit. It helps them run that narrative, which is what they're trying to do. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to allow this to continue because it's made up by Laura and Ziggy and Fred in the beginning. It's been disastrous. And I was not bought, sold, traded, or molested by my father or by Andy's family or anybody else. That's horseshit.
So what did you mean when you said that they were your first abusers? And what did you mean when you said...
What do you mean they? See, you're doing that shit. I mean that my dad was abusive. He was fucking abusive.
Okay, well, explain that to us so that they know, so that we know. Clarify.
I lived in a domestic violence household. Is that enough for you?
That's clear.
Okay. Andy's parents were abusive to him. They were manipulative, emotionally, mentally. They were physically fucking abusive, as in violent. There's police reports. That's part of what those are in court that you see on them. Some of them are no longer available because they've got the Title 40s or whatever on them. They, they have a history like that. But,
Okay, but what do you mean when you say when you were 11 years old and everybody in the neighborhood and all your friends and family seen it? What does that statement mean so we can clarify it? So that Ziggy can end this.
fucking talking about
I'll pull
when
the
I was
clip.
11 years old and everybody in the neighborhood seen it. What kind of stupid shit are you pulling out your ass today, Crystal?
It was one of your black and white videos where you're sitting in the car and in the kitchen.
I don't care what the fuck the video looked like. You're going to have to expound upon that statement. I mean, I've only said similar things in the way that everybody in the fucking area knew that Andy was abusive to me, that, he beat me in fucking public from the time we were fucking kids. It was the first time. I mean,
you and Andy both got on my panel that one night and said that y'all didn't get together until you was like 14 and 16. So
I never said that.
I'll have to go find the clips. Okay, I'm not going to disagree.
And make sure, look, I'm telling you, I'm not oblivious here, Crystal. And I know your little fuckery. It's like the other night with you starting to play the same shit in the beds that D fuck around with is bait shit. I get you, a nature lover, and D right now they're also fuck around with Z that half of this shit that was played on Seraphina. I'm not fuck around with you bitches, Crystal. Stop.
Huh? Jody,
Stop.
I ain't fucking around with you neither. I ain't Summer's neighbor. You are. Ain't nobody.
Oh yeah, I am. And you are. All y'all been fucking around since day one.
I'm literally sitting here sticking up for you and the shit they're saying, and you're gonna come over here with some attitude.
Nobody. You're playing a fucking game.
No, ain't nobody playing no fucking game. You're playing a game. You're the neighbor of this child.
I ain't playing no damn game, homie.
You say these things, and then you put them out there, and then you take them back. I do have.
I didn't take it back. I didn't take it back. A what?
I just played the 11-year-old clip yesterday. Go watch yesterday's live that I had.
11-year-old clip?
Yeah, the one where
I don't want to watch the fucking
11 years old and everybody knew about it. What did they know?
I mean, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and I'm not going back into your goddamn video to watch stupid shit and then come back here. I'm not going to do it. So tell me what the fuck kind of context it was in. If you got it, then you know what the hell I was talking about before and after. So why are you here asking me this?
Hold on a minute, Jody.
Yeah, please play it. It must mean something fucking profound that you all can twist or whatever.
Ain't nobody trying to twist it. You talking tongue twisters, and nobody understands what you're saying, and it sounds like you're accusing people of doing harmful things to you.
Hey, Crystal, if I actually ever wanted to come out and say some shit, I'd say it. Do you think that I would be like hiding for these motherfuckers that I can't stand? I'd be like, oh no, they didn't do shit in that way, blah blah blah.
Hi, Jody. I don't think you're responsible for Summer. However, I think Andy's family.
I don't care what the fuck you do, honestly. You've tried to make us look guilty as shit. You've tried to take the voice from my daughter. Don't forget where you started from, which was Ziggy and Scott, and what your channel was built on. And that's my kids torment, taking our voices from us as victims and survivors.
Voldemort, one of the only pushbacks against Voldemort was because he tried to say that, oh, well, she's driving by 3 or 4 times a day. Bullshit, y'all. It was absolute bullshit, and let me tell you why.
I could watch your videos.
And why it was a lie, and even Voldemort knew it. But it was to further gaslight and to abuse, and he was absolutely using the system to do it. Let me tell you why it's a lie. Several weeks before this shit started going down.
I don't think this is the video I'm talking about. Let me find the video I'm talking about. See, you have all the ones about his mom and dad in black and white. You have other ones about them too. But I specifically know that you have the ones in black and white. That's when you talk about Baltimore's parents.
Okay. Yeah.
And in one of these, you do say that they were abusing you for the time you were 11 years old.
Yeah. They were coming by my fucking house doing crazy shit, Crystal, as in keeping tabs on me and Andy. They were trying to control both of us. They were doing fuck shit to him as far as, just controlling his whole goddamn life. They were, And then as the years progressed, I mean, it was just forms of different, abusive bullshit with them. But not them molesting me or selling me or anything. Nobody sold, bought, paid for me in any way ever, period.
Okay, that's all I wanted you to clarify. Now the second one
Andy's
is
family never
now
fucking
that you're
touched
on
me.
here and we're talking about his parents. Was his parents on the road on the 15th and they ain't been there in 20 years, like Fred's saying?
You know better than that. If you've watched some of my videos, you know better than that. Hell, they had family in there to take care of and visit, and his mama and their uncle and their special needs nephew and Andy's great grandmother up there past Fred's. They were
And
up and down at the house here and there.
who's
But,
the
you know,
who's the RSO that you talk about in that they visit? Is that Hass?
I'm not. We're not going to let y'all run with that shit again. Look, all the RSOs and shit were checked out by law enforcement day one. They're always subject to any search, seizure, and polygraphs.
But according to the police, everybody's still a suspect one day. What is this? We're in the 4th year.
Okay, but the problem is the internet's made up its own suspect list. As close as the public's ever got one is Ansley on HLN or one of them saying Dawn and Candace, even after polygraphs, Dawn and Candace, church people, Candace Sr., even onward out to other family members and then neighbors. That's a whole big broad shitting thing, ain't it? There's only a few specific names in there, and they ain't Jody Sue, Hunter, Dudley, Allie. Ain't none of that, is it? No, you all have made your own fucking suspect list, and then you use clips of Lawson going, everybody's still a suspect or a person of interest. Well, you know what's interesting is really said that after Enton was like, oh, well, they said the polygraphs, well, does that mean they're cleared? And Lawson's like, no, everybody's still a suspect or a person, whatever he said. But it's weird how the internet forgets that, right?
No.
Did he ever specifically name any of us? Ain't it
No.
weird that Pruitt himself got fucking out here recorded by Benny saying Jody Stu's not a suspect? That he said Andy hadn't even been on his desk? Ain't it weird? But you all can even say we're sus. Are you fucking shitting me?
No, I'm not, and let me tell you why. There's many cases.
You all make your own suspect.
There are many cases where the police come out and lie to the public to protect the integrity of the
They
case.
fucking may. But were y'all ever given our names in public as suspects? No. Whose names were you given though?
But when they say neighbors, that's a wide perspective of people.
Yeah, it is. But here's also a thing. Like, do you ever remember Lawson coming out and saying, oh, Jody Sue, Dudley, Hunter, Allie, whoever else, the dead horse and all the dead guys weren't cooperating? No. He said Don, Candace, and all them, or Candace Sr. weren't cooperating, no, right?
Neighbors,
so, what's that tell you?
Lawson really confuses me because one day when this first started, he would come out and he would say, we got permission to search all the properties. Then he would say we had to go get a search warrant, and then he would switch his stories up.
Well, I don't know, Crystal. How does that confuse you? Everybody allowed searches, right? But then as an investigation goes on and it enters, where did he get warrants for? Do you know?
No.
I know some of the places, and they're not on Bennett. I know that one of them was served on Candace and Dawn's itself. So, like, I don't know, Crystal. As an investigation moves forward and then they pinpoint people and then they need warrants for certain stuff, that might happen and change.
Fred states that the police drove him around to Fields Road. Did they have a warrant for Fields Road that they have for Fields Road that they have went missing? Because wouldn't they need a warrant to do that?
No, they would have just anybody would have given them permission. Period. And we told, nobody refused.
Fred claims you and Andy were on the road for 4 days, so that means you would have seen the police.
You know that's not true. I've shown receipts and proof that we were not on the thing for 4 days. Andy went back to work the next fucking morning. There's videos of me at the top of the hill the next day with searchers and helicopters above me in daylight. We were not at the bottom of the driveway. And ain't it weird? So where would that put Fred if he was saying we were at the bottom of the driveway for that many days? Where was he? At the bottom of driveways that didn't belong to him for 4 days? That's right. See, It's Fred coming to all of our driveways, not the other way around. And the only time that we went down the bottom driveways was come and go, do our usual daily things, or when detectives or somebody asked us to come down, meet them at the bottom, send word through to Andy, send word to me. That way nobody had to walk up and down that big ass steep hill.
But the question is, did you see the police driving Fred around the next day from
No,
place
I
to
never
place?
heard about it either.
Did you see them go down there and do you think he's fibbing when they say that he wore a wire?
No, I mean, I don't care if he did or not, but I know it's like him saying that he recorded Little saying that the day after it. Well, for starters, that never happened, and that incident itself, where Andy was just tormenting the shit out of us, didn't happen for weeks and weeks after Summer vanished. It's impossible that Fred would have heard or been told anything about it or recorded it. It's just Fred making up shit, and doing this shit for the psychics like everybody else.
Why do you think that Fred makes up so much stories? I don't think that he makes everything up. I think there's some truth. However,
Same reason Jose does, same reason Hiltz does, same way Allie did, Hunter did, Andy. I mean, same fucking reason. It's paying them.
Let me finish. But what I do see is that Fred's stories grow larger and larger and larger and larger as time goes on. There's so much more added. You would think after 4 years you would forget details rather than remember them. So to me, it tells me because he has such great detail that he's lying.
He doesn't have actually that great of detail. He's ferreting shit off like he always has, but the problem is that he started this before, and all the narratives really online have somehow seemingly come from Fred's mouth. Right after Summer vanished, he's the first one to start saying all this shit, and then somehow it explodes onto the internet. And that's only after Juanita and the psychic crews and all them start coming in. He's got contacts with other local YouTubers and all sort of bullshit.
Psychic? Who was the first psychic to come to Ben Hill Road the day of or the day after?
Like, I don't know. There were people that night driving by that are connected with all these goofballs, like that cat person and other ones. And then you got to think there are local YouTubers that were already connected with the true crime community, and then all the shit that Fred would know and be around. It's hard telling.
Do you think?
But the first one I know physically was Juanita and you know.
Do you think that Juanita? Which psychics do you think it came from Seraphina? Because I'm seeing
all of
this.
them.
All of them. Me too. Me too. That's what I'm thinking. Because you see the school that Seraphina's running, where all
and Ziggy ain't got a double-ended dildo for Sweetie Pilo and Seraphina. She always has been. Most of these creators are. It's like that train shit on this light from them yesterday. That came from Cher and Andy and Becca trying to do a GoFundMe, and they had a picture of the train up. But people around the YouTube shit got Andy a job traveling, doing whatever, right? And that was way, I mean, like, you know, and Seraphina knows that because as does Cher, and Cher's one of her dildos too. You know, Ryan's a dildo, Don B's a dildo.
Do you know, did Dawn and Candace have any contact with Seraphina during the case?
Well, you know, Dawn's pulling that religious hate psychics for that reason and bullshit, but
I don't believe that. I don't believe that because he was besties with Dusty at the beginning of this. Keep that in mind. He was close with Dusty.
The thing is that all the creators they pal around with always have fuck around with these psychics, right? So you just wink, nudge, it goes right to the psychics, even if you aren't, you know, out in public going, hey, you get what I'm saying? I like this.
Very early on into my channel, I was covering a little bit of the psychic stuff based on things you were saying. Things the Wells were saying, that there was a fight and gunplay. Do you remember us talking about that? Can you tell us what that was about, Dawn fighting with the psychics?
I don't think he was fighting with them. You know, all of this sort of, like, they were inundating the fucking area doing stupid shit, being frauds, fighting amongst themselves over territory people, you know, trying to get the first whatever, you know what I mean?
So do you remember at the beginning of this, Squall accused you of naming your cats after Mike and Barb? Mike and Barb are who all the psychics started staying with. Do you know anything about that?
No, I mean, it was actually Jenny and them that started the, oh my God, those are victims of whoever and pranks and blah, blah. And the cat was named Mike Wachowski and Barbell. Okay. And it actually correlates with other neighbors' names who owned property at one point and this there. But it was all fucked up lieball mess of horse shittery and fuckery. And a way for this place to fuck with us, obviously. So
Usually, I would say you're right. I don't think
I
the
think
wolves
would
would mess
too, and then
with us. However, at the beginning of this case, Dawn was close to a couple of them psychics, and Dusty
well, he
was
might have been. I don't know. I was, they were all obviously all talking to YouTube and crazy motherfuckers before everybody in the area realized it.
Who was
The
the
rest
first?
of us weren't fucking doing it.
Who was the first YouTuber you seen in the area?
Shit. I mean, like, saying knew they were a YouTuber.
Yeah, like any of the ones like the first days of Summer Go Missing. Who was the first YouTuber to show up? Would that have been Cam and Allie?
No, no, because Jamie Wilson and all that shit. But I didn't see them. I didn't know half that shit was going on. You get what I'm saying?
What do you
So
think?
until 11. But I do know there were people coming in there filming us and shit after they took the top off the road. There was people driving by at night, coming in, inside the road in the interior. There were people making about properties. Obviously, Juanita was coming in. So we knew that there were people from social media and platforms and shit coming in and filming, doing fuck shit, right?
Learning Life. I'll put it up on the screen. When you're done answering, Learning Life has a good question.
But these psychics, like Seraphina, and she slipped last night, they all did in certain regards. And it's very telling. And I love how she keeps calling me controlled opposition. Bitch has got a boner for me because I wouldn't fuck around with her like I wouldn't fuck around with MGL and them. And she's been after my ass hard for years. Part of it, the whole Eat Jody 2 cycle. Seraphina's got a whiskey boner. Because I told her no.
Learning Life said, who was the YouTuber that JSB said called her mother-in-law the very night Summer disappeared?
The one I talk about calling the mother-in-law is the We Can Bring You Hope loser motherfuckers connected with Sweetie Pilo and the Griff and Con and the fundraiser shit and all that.
Really?
Yeah, so like I said, yes.
So Jody,
and they kept calling for like 2 weeks.
Since you brought
and we kept telling her not to speak to them. Whoever was calling wasn't up to no good. They weren't trying to help Summer. And she wouldn't listen and kept talking to the motherfuckers. And so, there you go.
Can I talk to you a little bit about We Can Bring You Hope? Because that's interesting. You do know that I found the board of directors is a woman named Roxanne B. Felice, and I used to babysit her grandchild up here in Pittsburgh. We all know they're from Pittsburgh. Jody can confirm that. They are from up here in my fucking city and all around my city. I know a lot of them personally after researching their organization. I fucking know these people. Let's put it that way. And there is an organized crime in connection to the people that I know. 100% in the neighborhood.
I don't know. I'd say they're operating online pretty well with Sweetie Pilo in this group and in all these cases. I'd say that's pretty well organized retail style crime.
You're saying We Can Bring You Hope came from the psychics?
Yes, they were connected to Sweetie fucking Pilo and all that shit, and it was run with J4 and Cher and all in background doing, I guess, what was Squall's first fundraiser idea.
Benny accused them, Tim Mullen, of hiring them in one of his lives right before he went off. And I've covered it several times. He hasn't been on to dispute it. I've left him a comment since he's come back that we need to talk about this. And he just hasn't talked about it with me yet. But Man, there's just so much with them people, Jody. There is. They're not good people. Even up here,
No
there's a missing man connected to them people, and it's his own sister that put the missing poster flyers out and did the same exact fucking thing they did in Summer's case, which was direct tips to them and put the wrong number to the police department on the flyers that they were passing out here in Pittsburgh.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Their own member. And I can actually connect them to somebody who was in Kingsport the day Layla went missing. I know facts that they're friends with this person who was in Kingsport.
Hey, Katie Strong, I just moved from Ben Hill for months after Summer vanished, thing. And what do you mean they're still fucking bothering me, Katie Strong, where we're at now and have been for years? Fuck off. Dumbass. God, people are fucking morons, dude.
Okay, well, here's
hell, I got videos of them classes. It's online. They've got me and my daughter and everybody else online early on recording us at a residence, calling us freaks and all kinds of shit, and screaming at other neighbors. I mean, I don't know. How'd they bother us, and how do I have video of it?
Well, here's another thing.
Down goddamn roads and shit, chasing us down fucking Beach Creek, following us around fucking town. Fucking apparently squall embedded over there having I just motherfuckers.
I will tell you, the missing persons guy that I talked to here in Pittsburgh has connected We Can Bring You Hope to some shit. That's what they told me. I can't go too deep into detail because I promised I wouldn't hinder the case. So they connected We Can Bring You to some things, and I do think that We Can Bring You Hope is 100% worth looking into, and I think that I might know why they're out here. I have a friend who was related to them, and that's why I think this could be retaliation in Summer's case. I have a friend who was related to them who accused people in Gate City, Virginia, to me and others, of before he passed away. And I'm going to tell you right now that I think it could have been Laura, Julie, or Karen that was involved in this. And I believe my friend
can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you did you ever find any evidence of me being on YouTube or any platforms trying to get all famousy before Summer vanished?
No.
Yeah, well, Jaded down there seems to think I wanted to be YouTube famous before Summer vanished. So
no, Jody had quite a lot of videos on her own channel, but I never seen the ones prior to when Squall put her videos out. And I never even seen anything prior to Summer's case on Jody's channel. But I will say that Jody mostly addressed her family and friends and not people as like she does now. I will vouch for Jody.
They weren't open to the public, by the way. Those were just on my Facebook. They were private, other than friends.
And I'll tell you when I took Jody's videos, the reason why I have so many, I didn't steal them because I wanted to steal them. I stole them because Squall and Chicken on a Stick were playing fucking dumb fuck shit bullshit games and Squall chat. And I had to write Jody and tell her they're on there, they're in the chat saying they're stealing your videos. So I went and I told
I had them all downloaded after Candace asked her to be on my Facebook, and it was all to go, I guess, down the road to the blackmail point, right? And then don't be changing history. You know what you did with my vids too, and how you tormented the shit out of me and my family. Don't act like that.
Listen, I don't consider it torment. Maybe it was uneducated. I was new to YouTube, okay? Uneducated would be a better guess, a better word to say. However, I've learned, and I try not to attack the children. When I talk about Jody's child, I do it in a way like today, for instance, with Seraphina. How dare her attack your child? She's literally saying your child's lying while she's describing Andy saying he's seen.
Oh no, you mean like for some reason you've been like sort of edging towards showing vids turning back, and you've been doing the shit, and then you all have been fucking me for I don't know a couple weeks, and
Jody,
nature has. it's gearing up to fuck with my kid again, and these bitches go on and use it. Oh no, you mean like that? I'm sorry.
But Jody, the only
I'm
video
sorry.
shown is the ones you were permitted her to come out here live for. You gave her permission to go on True Crime Commentary. And speaking of True Crime Commentary and Seraphina,
Oh
isn't that where Penny came from? Wasn't she following Seraphina's map at the beginning of Summer's case?
God. I don't fucking know. Probably. Everybody else is.
Okay, so do you remember? I remember specifically the day she mentioned
Hey,
Seraphina.
dated a person that gives a group permission to raffle off shirt. That would be me when I thought everything was legit, and it was all supposed to go to Summer's reward fund. So I don't know about you, but I guess you wouldn't do that to help up things for your missing neighbor and a fund to possibly get tips or something. Man, I hate that for you, Jaded. I
Jody,
hate
why
that
do
for
you
you.
think I'm still on this mission for this fucking lawsuit? Because I don't quite understand why Linda and Chicken on a Stick went after me so hard when I never attacked them or even had a conversation with them, either of them. Except for one time in chat with Linda and one time with Lips, but that wasn't even until after the lawsuit was filed. I misspoke last night on Andrew's panel. I didn't talk to Lips on my panel until just recently. However, there was one comment me and Lips left each other, and Lips was telling me that she wouldn't allow me to speak to Marlena until I answered some of her questions. And
Oh dear.
at that point, I just ignored her because I don't know the woman, but now all of a sudden she is a witness in my case, and we're finding people like Jamie Wilson, who does connect to Linda, involved in Summer's case. He's a neighbor. He's from the same neighborhood, the same area, the same. And then Jamie comes
That boy
out.
connects to a whole lot of people, don't he?
He
Wild how
sure.
they got rid of him pretty quick, eh?
But I'm looking at the ones that were found in the lawsuits on us, since they threw us into a lawsuit together. So, because for me, those are the ones that have shit to hide. What the fuck are you trying to shut me up from? 5 lawsuits, that's a little bit much, don't you think? Especially when they're
No,
all
probably not enough where it concerns you, honestly.
like for Jody's, the one that me and Jody had together with Chicken on a Stick wasn't even filed correctly. And it didn't even have a judge's fucking signature on it.
I don't care. I just know that Chicken on a Stick, everyone's do that fuck shit again, and I'll fucking tear her ass apart in court with a lawyer.
She's in
Because that's
court.
bullshit. That bitch fought me for fucking years prior. Fucking bitch has a vendetta. All that shit was on purpose. This group, dates selected specifically. I guess they assumed it would shut me up. I don't know, hurt me, whatever. I don't care. They're all nut jobs. And I can say that because I know that.
I have many reasons when it comes to Linda for thinking that she could be involved in stuff. We Can Bring You Hope is a big one, which is why I don't attack Jody, because I do believe, knowing the people that I know that are involved in that organization, they're not what people think they are. And I'm not going to come out here and say what they are, because some people in their family I'm very extremely close to, and I would never do nothing to hurt them. However, there are bad seeds in every family, and it seems like the younger ones in this organization.
Becca's eyes, don't forget I know who you are and I know how long you've been in this community and where you belong. You can go fuck yourself, alright?
Listen, I'm not addressing chat. I'm not even reading it, because I know how
No.
people feel about you, but that doesn't change my feelings. I sometimes like Jody. I sometimes don't like Jody. I'm confused by Jody. Jody knows this. However, what I don't
I'm
think
not a fucking enigma or anything to be confused by.
what I don't think is Jody had anything to do with Summer. What I do believe is that I heard a court-appointed person on the phone with Jody talking about the abuse, and Jody and I have talked about this prior, about the abuse that Andy has put her daughter through, and him screaming in court and acting like a damn fool. I heard it with my own ears from a court-appointed person. It was accidental. Jody answered a call while we were on a call, but I can confirm 100% that that is absolutely true. So that takes my suspicion off of Jody a little bit. Now, do I like the human Jody is? Yeah, Jody, I do. I don't think you're an awful person, but I think that
I don't care. Hey, let's get this clear. I don't give
Thank
a
you.
fuck what you think of me.
I know you
All right?
don't. I know you don't. I know people like you too. You remind me of an aunt of mine. So cynical. But anyways, what I want to say is that I think people need to cut Jody slack because Jody is a witness. No matter what way you look at it, she's a suspect and or could be a witness. There are things I do believe Jody is holding back from telling us because truth, it ain't none of our business, and there's a lot of things that can hinder Summer's case. And I know that
Hey,
we
Chris,
all come out here and demand answers
I
immediately
just,
from this little girl.
can I address something real quick?
God.
Do you see Becca down there? With I sure don't have any respect for Crystal now. It's not right for her to treat us like, let her treat us like that. Now, do you think it occurs to Becca that it's not right that she's in chat just acting like she can treat me however, say whatever about it, and I don't have a right to respond, otherwise I'm the mean guy? What's
No,
wrong with people in the chat,
you can
Crystal?
respond. I don't, but I just seen what she said. But Becca's one that will build me up and then come over and trash me like she just did.
But,
So
yeah,
I don't know what that's about, but Becca, I'm sorry. Jody and I have been thrown into lawsuits together. We have a different relationship than you and most people on here. I don't quite know
but
how
it's
to
weird.
explain it.
People just can say whatever the fuck about you, and if you respond to it, then you're the bad guy. Ain't that crazy?
I don't care whether people like me or they don't like me. I know that what I've been through in Summer's case as a creator is nothing what Jody's been through, nothing what Summer's been through. And Summer is who I'm here for. I'm not here to fight with other creators. I'm not here to cause chaos and havoc. I'm not here to go against Jody because if Jody does have something she wants to put out, us attacking her and all that other shit, that ain't going to get us no answers. Do you think anybody wants to respond to somebody that's being ignorant? So, Becca, if you want to say things like, where did she put it? I lost respect for Crystal. I sure don't have any respect for Crystal now. Well, you could just get the fuck moving on because I'm going to show you about how much respect I have for you. Where are you here? Becca's eyes, how
Katie,
about
Andy
this?
never said I drank. Actually, Andy said I was never known to drink. And I still don't drink, and you know it's because of cancer and the
Jody,
disability, just
Jody
like
doesn't drink.
Seraphina did.
I have literally seen Jody drink 2 times. Once in her car and once on her birthday.
On Thanksgiving, that one year, but Green Eyes tried to fuck shit.
I have that video. I just ran into it yesterday. I'd like to know whose Lexus is that. That's a beautiful car.
We started. You actually do not know my whole life. Oh, I don't care
No, I
how many hours
do.
it's
I
been.
was looking at the car. I really do like Lexuses, and it looks like my ex-mother-in-law's car. I was like, hey. Oh, Killer, before we go anywhere, guys, Killer was in an awful, awful, awful accident. It's amazing he's alive today. Please send healing prayers up to him because, man, Killer, can I share the video? Do you mind if I share the video? I don't know who all seen this, but it's amazing that he is sitting
I heard
in
he had an unaverage day.
a very unaverage day. Hold on. Where is it? Where did it go, Killer? It ain't on here. I don't see it. Here it is. A miracle this man is standing. My husband wants to know if the beer you was picking up saved your fucking life. Please pray for Killer. Hope he get heals fast. Let's keep prayers coming for Tiffany's son too. While we're at it. Because it's a miracle. I was having the best day ever, still was. Man, that's something to live through. At least you have a story to tell. I'm so happy we're not recording your funeral. I'll tell you that right now. And I kept meaning to come in here and talk about your accident, and I kept forgetting, and I'm so
What
sorry.
the fuck? What van? Holy shit, your people are insane, bro. I guess they're asking me if I know the van that hit Killer. Yeah, y'all, I just totally seen it drive him down in the store. Oh my god, you people are whack. tried to take him out, Chris.
She drove all the way from Tennessee just to drive through there. However, I do got to ask because I've had some break-ins and some crazy shit happening in my house. So I do got to ask, Killer, do you think that it's a possibility it could be because you cover Summer's kid? I mean, Summer's kid. Summer's case? It was a new
They don't want to know that it was an SUV and not a van. And they really want to think that I sent it for you. Dun, dun, dun.
Naughty, that's an expensive car. I hope you're getting some insurance. I hope you're okay. Really, I do. Above all else, I'm happy you're still here in chat with us and talking. But listen, hi Twister. I haven't gotten any sleep. Hey, Backwoods. I'm actually going to do this. I'm sorry, Jody.
Not stop stalking me to every time.
I'm going to go to sleep.
He's a freak, bro.
I'm going to get off.
Helen, it's about as funny as that bracelet that I'm still wearing. Just a chap your ass.
In good fashion, Jody, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to say peace and love to everybody. I am going to come live later, and we are going to finish this retarded ass. Excuse my language. I usually don't use that word, for fuck's sakes.
Good Lord.
Hit me with fucking lightning. I'm not politically correct. But I'm going to jump off.
Well,
we're going to come back and finish the rest
are we clear, though? Like, so from now on, like, you know that you don't have to open the door to allow people to believe shit Seraphina and Ziggy and Laura and Fred come up with, that I was not bought, sold, traded, etc. by anyone near my family or Andy. We good?
Okay.
We clear on that?
You confirm that with us. I'll quit covering it. I'll go by your word. That's all.
Or you can just call them out.
We've
We
finally got an answer for that. Jody has answered it in extent tonight. So Ziggy, you can whatever you're saying over there. But I'm gonna go. Peace and love to you all. I will see you after a few hours of sleep, probably about 10 o'clock tonight. Jody, thank you for coming up on panel. Sorry for arguing back and forth with you, but you know, I don't take shit. You don't take shit. It's just what happens. Killer, please. Honestly, I hope you will take your time. Don't rush to us. Don't worry about videos for us. I think most of the community is more worried about you healing. All right. Peace and love. I will talk to you all about 10 o'clock tonight. We'll finish going over Seraphina. Bye.